For reaction, we're joined by Congressman Steve King of Iowa, member of an Immigration and Border Security Subcommittee in Congress. It's good to see you, but this is disturbing. I mean, this is just wild what's happening. You have these lawyers, including this guy who's one of the lead lawyers in this effort, Alex Mensing. He's a project coordinator for Pueblos Sin Fronteras, which is organizing this effort to help these, help the caravans. And the concern, Congressman, is that we have American lawyers and other non-governmental organizations almost working hand in glove, de facto, with media outlets to push Mexico. There's a Mexican election coming up in a few months, put the political pressure on Mexico, and as I said, keep it all going. So they make their way up to Tijuana, and then what?
Watching this caravan make its way towards the United States and divert towards Tijuana, and seeing the way they're facilitating this with the media and with the immigration attorneys, of which the Immigration Attorney Organization has at least 15,000 members in the United States of that organization. There's federal statutes that prohibit and create a felony for contributing and aiding and abetting illegal immigration. They'd better have their laws right if they're going to go to a foreign country and help facilitate an unarmed invasion into the United States. But we are weak on our asylum laws. And that asylum law was passed by voice in the middle of the night after everybody left for the airport for Christmas vacation.
When?
A few years ago. Several years. I don't have the exact year. But I looked it up and I read the text of that. And they were ready to gavel out, and everybody headed to the airport. And it was set up to be, this was back during the Pelosi era when she was in the speaker and when Harry Reid was.
Let me explain to people who don't understand. When you claim asylum when you say you have a credible fear of persecution for a variety of reasons. I mean, it's really lax. It's for race, religion, nationality, membership in a particular social group. I don't even know what that means. And political opinion. God, some of us feel persecuted for having a political opinion here. But for those grounds, you can claim asylum. And overwhelmingly, the immigration judges have granted asylum or allowed people to be released. Then they never come back for their hearing or deportation proceedings.
Even the coyotes train them what to say. So when they arrive,
workshops. They're doing these workshops with these migrants.
I stood up on the cliff outside of Roma, Texas, a few years ago, and watched them inflate the raft, bring a pregnant lady across with two coyotes escorting a pregnant lady. They brought it up to the shore in the grass, helped her out, handed her two little ditty bags of her possessions, and she stood and patiently waited for the Border Patrol to come along to claim credible fear.
Well, why haven't Republicans in Congress done anything, really, to change this law? I know you've been a staunch advocate of strengthening our immigration laws. Non-contiguous countries, meaning other than Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, Salvador, Central America, and beyond, if they show up at our border and they throw themselves at a Border Patrol agent, they don't have to cross the border, just show up. They can get asylum in the United States very easily, or at least be released into the United States easily. We must have a new law that says you can be expeditiously and immediately removed back to your country, like you are if you're a Mexican. Mexicans don't have that ability. Only other than Mexicans have that ability to be released back into the United States. That's nuts. And we talked about this one judge in D.C. who's just part of the judicial tyranny now.
Well, just changing the language for asylum, the credible fear language. We went down and did a tour of the border last October with Chairman Bob Goodlatte and others. We went through the court system. We saw a lot of what was going on. But that simple change is written into the Davis-Oliver Act. It's got a lot of enforcement provisions in it.
Well, where is this act, Davis-Oliver?
This act is it's looking for a way to come to the floor and be debated.
Okay, so Paul Ryan, he's not going to bring it to the floor.
It seemed to me that the votes were a little short because it's tied up in some of the Republicans insist on DACA amnesty as part of anything we do.
Okay, here we go. So we go back to the amnesty.
It's a tug of war.
You cannot just do something that protects the American people, that protects our sovereignty, our borders, our health, our national security. You can't just do that for the American people without a big giveaway to illegal immigrants. Is that correct?
And it sure seems to be.
I mean, people watching this like they just want to throw something at the TV.
And Laura,
now,
on top of this, though,
I do, and I'm hosting the show.
The president, whom I support, had promised that he was going to end DACA, but he served up DACA as DACA amnesty.
I don't talk about that. That drove me crazy too. 13,000.
What I'm saying is we shouldn't make a deal between the rule of law and amnesty.
I completely agree. 13,186. 13,186 UAMs. Know the acronym, unaccompanied minors under 17, have already been released this year. in fiscal year 2018.
And Laura, I could guarantee you that they were driven to, bused to, or flown to all 50 states. The records show that we've taken
Sponsors. They go to sponsors.
And they may go to an address in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Who knows? It could be a coyote house. It could be a drug smuggling house.
MS-13, as we saw it.
MS-13. And I was in Arizona when we collared an MS-13. And when they busted him for a pickup load of marijuana, 240 pounds. He had this tattoo on his arm, 13. I saw it with my eyes, and I unloaded that marijuana, 240 pounds of it. It is a stunning thing when you put your eyes on it. You walk into those warehouses, you go into those jails, about 81% male by the data I'm looking at, and some of those youth have a little gray in their beard, Laura.
Well, oh, I get it. So they might not be 17 years old, Congressman. We got to get something done. Thank you so much for your advocacy and work on this.